Into the fires of battle, unto the anvil of war. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another Incursio the Gamer Dungeons & Dragons quick build video. Today we have with us something a little different, you might be able to see. Something, that's not Limbus Company, something that's not Project Moon. Today we have with us, from Warhammer40K, the Salamanders, a Space Marine chapter. Which is really, really lovely, because I've been, digging into Warhammer for the past 3 years now. Ever since I got introduced to it during a Boy Scout outing, more specifically Philmont, I've just fallen in love with it. And, I'm no diehard fan, but I do know, of course, the Necrons and the Orcs. I've implemented them in my D&D campaign before. But what I really like most is the Human Knight equivalent. It's the Space Marine. These just guys who, the Emperor's always right, and the Salamanders are guys who really are concerned with civilian casualties. And that's what I love about them. They're different from everyone else. Where other Space Marines might just go out of their way to kill civilians, like the women, the children, everyone. They're all animals, slaughtered like animals. The Salamanders are, very loving. And I like that about them. They're very cool. If I was a Space Marine, I'd like to be a Salamander. Just saying. I'd like to be saved by a Salamander as well. But anyways, these guys, they use flamethrowers, they use warhammers. Warhammer, get it? Warhammer40K? And let's just get into the build at this point. Salamander Space Marine. I'm not talking about a Primarch, otherwise he'd have stats of all 30. And I do apologize if I don't do these guys justice. It's a level 6 D&D build, I'm sorry. Variant Human, Forge Domain Cleric, and Artillerist Artificer. Remember, level 6, I only build those to create a foundation. You guys can build from there. And I'll talk a little more about alternate builds as we get into the video. Now, for stats, you have your Strength, Con, and Charisma as your high ones. You can replace Intelligence and Charisma, but I like the idea of high Charisma to help deal with, civilians when they're urging them off planet, saving them from whatever monsters are attacking, etc., etc. It's just such a lovely, lovely build with lots of roleplay potential. Now, of course, you have your -1 to initiative, 21 AC at level 6 is insane, 30 walking speed, and 57 hit points. This is also from an Artificer Infusion, you'll see in a bit. Saving throws, Strength, Wisdom, Charisma. Those are your proficiencies. Strength you're going to get from the Resilient feat later on, you'll see. 10, 11, 13 for passive senses, respectively. Here are your proficiencies. And now, let's get into it. Your skills. Athletics, Insight, Intimidation, Performance, Religion. Only iffy one's performance. That's just to comfort the kids, man. That's just to, don't worry, everything is fine, I'm here. Never fear, for I am here. I have this friend who likes My Hero, and he watches all these videos, so, Logan, if you have to draw a, similarity between All Might and the Salamanders, they're the protectors of the people. Now, let's get into our actions. You have your mace, which is the Warhammer. I figured the mace is a better, weapon for this case. But anyways, +7 to hit, 1d6 +4, slightly better than an improvised weapon. And this can also just be changed or, moved or enhanced later down the line. This is what we have for now. You have your dash, disengage, dodge, grapple, shove, as well as create the Eldritch Cannon, magical tinkering, and channel divinity, turn undead. You guys can read that on your own time. I'm not a channel divinity kind of guy, not gonna lie. Bonus actions. Now, you have your create your flamethrower. Now, you have your flamethrower, force ballista, protector. If I had to rank them in priority, flamethrowers first, second, and third every single time. Salamanders use flamethrowers. They're cool like that. Next will be protector. What can I say about it? It just protects the people, also protects themselves. But anyways, last one would be Force Ballista. I mean, if you have a normal gun with bolts, it'll do. Like, you can just kind of have it, but I like the flamethrowers. The Salamanders are known for their flamethrowers. Yeah. Anyways, for real fans out there who think I'm full of shit, I kind of am. You have your spells as well as the, just 2d8 fire damage, dex save 12. Remember, replacing the charisma intelligence is possible. Totally up to you guys. I just like it with the roleplay aspect a little more enhanced, and the actual viability of flamethrowers kind of being a little more down until later levels. When you upgrade your gear, you upgrade yourself, things like that. Reactions, opportunity attack, sentinel attack as well, and shield. For other, you have, all these spells. Blessing of the Forge is +1 to AC, or damage rolls, etc. You could honestly Blessing of the Forge your armor every single time to have a 22 AC all the time. Channel Divinity, of course. You also have Artisan's Blessing, as well as your infuse items. Now, right now, I'm using both of them. When we get to inventory, I'll look into that. But as for limited use, you've seen it all. So spells. Create Bonfire, Green Flame Blade, Light, Resistance, Sacred Flame. All very, very self-explanatory here. I don't see why it isn't. First level spells are the same as second level spells because I didn't take second level spells. So now we have Expeditious Retreat, Fairy Fire, Identify, Long Strider, Searing Smite, Shield, Shield of Faith, and Thunder Wave. Only iffy one here is Thunder Wave, but really I just needed another spell, not gonna lie. And I could very well replace it as we speak, but that's up to you guys if you want to take a second level fire spell. As for now, I think Thunder Wave's fine. It's just more damage at the end of the day, as well as Create Bonfire being an alternative to the Artificer class. If you wanted to take maybe Fighter or Barbarian, totally alright. As long as you have Create Bonfire, you're good. Inventory. Laser pistols in case, oh, he needs bolts, he needs a gun. Yeah, you can take it. Or like replace your flamethrower thing with it if you don't want to take Artificer. Again, you have your mace, plate, and shield. And you can see these are infused. Infused with Enhanced Weapon, Enhanced Defense. Because down here, you're going to have your infusions. Armor, Magical Strength. Add Intelligence modifier to Strength or Strength, blah, 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 blah. Not really that high, not going to lie. Enhanced Weapon, I put it on the Mace. Or the Warhammer. Haha. Dread Helm, also here. And Enhanced Defense, put it on the plate. Real good stuff. Remember, you guys can do this with any armor or weapon or whatever that you see fit. This is just what I have right now. Features and traits. Let's get into our first class, the Cleric. Religion and Insight, of course. I mean, religion, why not? They're literally worshipping the Emperor. At this point, it's not Big Brother Emperor, it's, the Emperor knows all. Similar to Project Moon, in the sense that, I believe it was the Index, actually, that was, just a little crazy. How did it go? The Prescript knows best, I think. But yeah, the Index is crazy. Space Marines, they're lovely, though. I love these guys. I might make an Index character, or a boss, or whatever, like down the line. But spellcasting, Forge Domain, of course, and that's pretty much it. You have Blessing of the Forge, which is what you're kind of here for. For Artificer, you have a lot more than that, though. Infuse Item, both of them are currently being used, and there's so many infusions that you can go about. Here's just a couple of examples, or all the examples, yeah. As well as Replicate Item, which is kind of cool, but that I didn't really take. Artillerist, what you're really here for, naturally, the Eldritch Cannon, the Flamethrower, as well as the Resilient Feat. But you can get that with any level 4 in any class. So, species traits. You're going to be Variant Human, you have Infernal, Performance, and your feat's going to be Sentinel, naturally. For your feats, you have Resilient from Artificer, Sentinel from Variant Human, and Savage Attacker from Soldier. Just more damage, and more saves, so that way you can stay up longer, so you can do more damage. But anyways, background, of course, Space Marines are very, very different, we can say. Now, of course, for the Soldier, it's Strength all the way. I love Strength stat. But for characteristics, you can put pretty much whatever you want here. Yeah, Salamanders don't have one very specific, say, eyes, or height, or weight, or skin, or hair, or... I mean, the faith is in the Emperor. The alignment with the Emperor, the gender is always going to be male. So we can pretty much put that down. Alignment, I would pretty much say, lawful good. These guys, maybe even lawful... Yeah, lawful good are the Salamanders. For the faith, the Emperor, and lifestyle, I mean, wealthy, I guess, maybe? Comfortable? I'm not sure. Remember, I'm no diehard fan of Warhammer. I don't know all that much. But what I do know, from what I do know, is no girls allowed! Are all Space Marines bald? I don't think so. But anyways, add whatever you want to these. Personality traits, appearance, notes, and extras. Ladies and gentlemen, I love Warhammer, but I'm not, the most knowledgeable fellow out there. So if you have any, side notes for me, criticism, I will gladly take it on this video. I'm going to get right back into Project Moon right after this. Who knows, I might go over the new Gregor and Ishmael IDs, but, I mean... I just have such a fascination with the Salamanders, and there's such wonderful, wonderful chapter. One of the best chapters, in my personal opinion. Ultramarines are great and all, but these guys are so cool. They're so cool. But yeah, the Dragon Warriors, this is them. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this video. It's been an honor. and I'm gonna keep doing my research on Warhammer. Have a wonderful one. Goodbye and good night.